Welcome to Your Way Now. We're Sue and Sarah, coaches supporting people living with cancer and those moving beyond it. Each episode shares real stories, expert insight, and gentle tools to help you feel more supported, physically, emotionally, and mentally. This is Your Way Now.
Get the strength you want and need from real stories and expert voices. It's time for Your Way Now.
Hi everyone, it's Sarah and Sue here from Your Way Now podcast. Just reflecting on our first series, but also looking forward to the next series, which launches in a couple of weeks' time. So look out for that. So Sarah, what would you say? What has been your kind of like highlights from the series one?
Oh, I've had some just such fabulous guests. I mean, I've learned so much, I have to say. I mean, you know, from Nick with her nutritional expertise, from down to Tim with his breath work, with Louise with the neuroscience of the brain and having some really great tools, you know, to actually manage our nervous system, which was really, I think that with me was actually probably one of the highlights actually. And Julia obviously sharing her, you know, how she's overcome breast cancer twice, which was just such a remarkable story. So yeah, I mean, it's all just been absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think for me, I think one of those top moments was probably Louise with her tools about navigation. But also, I have to say, Tim with his bee breath. Yeah. You know, although you couldn't actually hear it on the podcast, I was going, you know, it was there, and it was just, I think, you know, I was just doing that.
I'm humming a lot more than I used to.
Oh yeah.
I've also, it's impacted me in different ways actually. In that, I now do Tai Chi and Gizong with Tim.
You do it with Tim, don't you?
I have signed up for an integrative cancer coaching course, which I'm completing now, because I've just learned so much in the last couple of months. And I've got Julia's book, so it's on my pile of books to read. So it's been a very interesting experience, and I just hope that everyone else has taken the same from it.
Because I think if we learn from it, then obviously I hope that our guests can also really learn from this, you know, because as coaches, we certainly don't know everything, and that's the point, you know. So actually bringing in the guests just really just brings in some really interesting stuff. And also,
I think as coaches as well, we often get asked for things that we can't provide, and that, you know, signposting. So, you know, knowing about different services, knowing what they can do for someone affected by cancer is just, you know, so useful. It's been really good.
So what are you excited about in the next series?
Oh my goodness, there's so much. We've got some really, really inspirational guests, and the first one we're kicking off with is Marcus Jarvis, who's got an incredible story to tell, right through to learning about cancer research, and especially what's happening here locally in where we live in Sussex. I think there's so much there. I can't even think anymore what else there is. Oh, and Kevin, there's lots going on, and again, lots of learning as well. Just really looking forward to chatting more, and finding out what our viewers and listeners think of it as well.
And we're really opening up this theme of possibility, aren't we? You know, as we go through this, we've sort of like played around with words, you know, and looked at whether hope was the right thing, or we've sort of like come up with possibility, you know, maybe a bit of resilience around it, but possibility being one of our core themes. And I think we just really want to sort of take that forward now into these future series, don't we? And actually show, because by, I think, having some of these inspiring guests like Marcus, for example, Julia in this particular series, Marcus in the next one, and Kate, of course, as well. So somebody, you know, somebody else called Kate's coming on, and she's sharing her story of how they've overcome these things. And actually sometimes when the diagnosis is really quite poor, to actually have possibility, I think, is just very hopeful.
Yeah, and I think all our guests have shared things that they've done, and they are all very different, so that's really helpful, you know, because it gives us a sort of wider perspective of what is out there, what you can do for yourself, and really as well very strongly come through about self-care and your mindset, and how you approach things, but also acknowledging it's not always easy, but showing people that have done it, I think is really, really powerful. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So possibilities are the way forward.
Yeah, possibility is definitely the way forward. And I think finally we just want to actually look at what our learnings have been, Sue. I mean, you know, what have we learned from doing this first series? I mean, because don't forget, we're really new to this. So we've done this all on our own back. We don't get paid for it, you know, or anything else. We're literally doing it for the love of it, to pass it forward and to share these stories with our audience. So what's been your biggest learning?
My biggest learning has been that Facebook and Instagram won't accept a video that's over a minute long, no matter how many times you try. That's just my personal one. But also I think we've had some really interesting conversations when people relax, when we turn the camera off.
Yes.
And some real gems have come out of that, which are for us. So we need to find a way of, you know, relaxing our guests so that they can share those
those
with
those
listeners.
other little golden nuggets, really, aren't
Yeah.
they? Because I think sometimes, when the conversation relaxes and they don't feel like they're being recorded or what have you, and often we'll stay on for a while after we finish the recording, we'll turn it off, and then the conversation carries on, as you say, and we just find ourselves go, oh wow, we wanted that bit, you know, why didn't that bit come out, or why didn't that bit come out?
Well, I feel like we should be celebrating as well, Sarah, because you know we came up with this idea. When was it? End of last year.
Yeah.
You know, we've been looking at ways that we could collaborate.
That, I think.
Yeah, well, we'd sort of, but you know, we're busy people.
Yeah.
And to pull it together, pull in some really interesting guests, film it with my feathers and Sarah's front room, you know, with no studio. Come on, let's just give ourselves a bit of a pat on the back, you know, that we've got. Yeah, I'll give you one back.
There you go.
But you know, it's we're starting from nothing. I think actually we've done pretty well.
We're trying to work out why the feathers are taking pride of place. I think that's one of the biggest learnings as well.
Because they're beautiful.
Exactly. So and I think that is the whole point, is celebrating how far we've come.
Yeah.
Because we have literally been doing this, as I already explained, with nothing, with no budget or anything like that at all, and to find ways that we can record it, that we can get the sound quality okay without the professional studio, you know, all those types of things.
Yeah.
Has been
it's been a team effort.
It has,
and I
very
think,
rewarding.
Yeah, and I think, as I say, I've learned so much from it. Series 2 is even more packed with learning, and moving forward, looking at those possibilities, looking at getting more inspiring guests as well who've been on journeys themselves, but also other people that can provide that other expertise and in other areas that can support people. Because so often, I'm sure you find this, Sarah, with working with my clients who've finished their active treatment, they're still looking for ways to cope with side effects, with like menopause that's been come upon them during treatment, or all of those things, or just actually adjusting to life. So the more tools that we can show you that you can use, the better, because there's not always time for some of the health professionals maybe to share that information. Is that fair enough? So you know, let's just get it, you know, get it from all angles, just get that advice, and hopefully something you'll find, even if one person in a series found something useful, that's enough really. So.
And we would love to get your feedback, actually. If anybody wants to drop us an email to yourwaynow@outlook.com, give us your feedback. If you don't mind spending us a couple of minutes just on that would be really useful. And also, if you want to be a guest, I mean, we have had a few people step forward from obviously releasing our first series, which has been amazing. But yeah, if you've got a story to share, we would also love to hear from you.
Come and tell us.
Yeah, please do.
So that's about it. The episode 1 of series 2 will be released in 2 weeks, so look out for that. And come and join us if you'd like to. Okay.
Can't wait for series 2. So
thank you
so much for your support, and we'll speak to you in the next series. What really is the difference here between counselling and coaching? You know, what's the difference in the services you offer?
If we talk about the similarities first, the similarities are that, as we just discussed, it's non-judgmental, it's totally confidential. And whilst with the coaching that I do, we might be looking back a little bit because I want to know more about you and also raise your awareness of what an awesome human being you are, actually, whether you feel like you are or not. And then it's very much about moving forward. So it's moving from where you are now, so meeting you where you are now and moving that forward, and rather than looking back and going back and looking at those emotions that have come up. So yes, it can be emotional, and we can, sit with that, but ultimately we're looking at how to move forward.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I think, for me as well, it's about almost going back into the past. We sort of need to a little bit just to actually look at what's going on subconsciously, because actually it's about making the subconscious conscious and looking at maybe generational patterning and things like that, and traumas that sometimes have gone on, but not sitting in all of that, and not sitting in the shit, for want of a better word. We're actually looking at it, how's that shaped us, but then, as you say, how we can move forward through that.
I have to say, I've worked with people who are having counselling at the same time, or indeed have done coaching and found that useful, or also find other things that come up, and then they need a counsellor as well. So very similar but different, and much more sort of looking at moving forward.
I mean, a lot of people like intermittent fasting. I'm quite happy with intermittent fasting, but I think when you think of your first meal, whenever that is, however many hours after you've woken up, there needs to be some protein in that meal. It shouldn't just be this modern, quick eating on the hoof, or a cereal or toast or a cereal bar or whatever. I think it needs to have some protein in it, and it needs to be quite a substantial meal. And I still think this breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince and supper like a pauper, it makes sense. There's logic there. Our lives don't work like that anymore. We're not coming in from the fields and having a lunch. We're usually at work, and we're probably not with our loved ones. We're, with colleagues. And then we want an evening meal, because that's time to catch up with people maybe, or kick your shoes off, stick the telly on. But within the parameters of modern living, I think we still have to take the essence of, okay, that first meal, the first meal that my stomach has received after however many hours of rest, needs to have all the food groups, and it needs to be clean, and it needs not just to be a sugar rush.
So again, if you want me to do it,
should we do it?
Okay.
Well, should we do it? Should we all do it?
So
we'll all just buzz.
It's kind of quite nice. Yeah, if you're ever doing any breathing exercise, it's always really, really lovely to feel where your breath is. So putting one hand on your chest, one hand on your abdomen, and then all you're doing is just breathing in through the nose, and then just humming. When we finish that hum, we'll pour the nitric oxide in our sinuses here and up here, and we just breathe in, goes all the way down to our lungs, and we just hum again. And so long as your out breath is longer than your in breath, it's doing you good. And we just carry on.
It's really simple. I think, going through cancer is a fearful journey, because it's unexpected, it's unknown, it's quite often a shock and a surprise. And I think my first advice I give to anybody is look to yourself for self-love and self-belief, and lean into the people that love you and support you and are kind to you and nurture you in those moments, because from self-love comes self-belief, and after self-belief you start getting curious about this amazing planet and world we're on. So don't sit in fear on your own. Reach out for help and support. And having been through that journey, it is a light at the end of the tunnel that you can get to, but it's having the courage to get up, stand up, look for that help, look for that support, whether it's, talking to you ladies, going to the Future Dreams house, reading books, speaking to journals. Louise Hay, massive fan of Heal Yourself and all that sort of stuff, is don't sit in the waiting room of fear. Step out, start believing and loving yourself, and be curious about, so that every single day on this planet you can embrace and feel alive in.
Ladies, follow me, and you just very gently rub your hands together. Now, this pulls into operation the neuroscience of touch and what touch means to us. And it also sends a message via the nerves from the tips of our fingers all the way through into our somatic area, into our somatosensory area, where our hands are overrepresented. So hands are really, really good to use in this area. And we can breathe. And breathing also makes a fantastic shift. So these are the core of the techniques, because what I've found is people can't think their way out of overwhelm.
Yeah. And I remember, and honestly, this was my surgeon's exact words, were after he saw me, after I came round, and he said, "You are a miracle." He actually used those exact words, were, "You are a miracle."
Wow.
I don't know what you've been doing, he said, but basically keep going, because you are a miracle. We never expected to find that result. And I honestly believe, Sue, that actually comes down to that power of the integrative approach, by the miracles of our own mind-body healing, as well as actually what the medics provided for me.
Get the strength you want and need from real stories and expert voices. It's time for Your Way Now.
Thank you for listening to Your Way Now. If you have a story you'd like to share, or would like to be a guest, or have ideas about what would be helpful to hear on future episodes, we'd really love to hear from you. Please remember you're not alone on this journey, and your voice really does matter. So until next time, this is Your Way Now.